narrative, leading the conversation, enlightening our listeners. Africa Business Radio. Towards a profitable Africa.
Welcome back to Africa Business Radio. We are right here at Gallagher Estate in Midrand for the BRICS Skills Summit Challenge. I'm quite excited. There's so many exhibitors here, so many people that know a lot. So if you haven't come through, we are here from today until Thursday. Come meet the people. It is free. You don't need to register. So come to the BRICS Skills Challenge. And today, well, right now, I have two interesting gentlemen, very learned gentlemen. I call them nerds. So anybody who knows more than the average person is a nerd. But they are here under CSIR, and they're focusing on the cybersecurity challenge. These two gentlemen, very learned and handsome gentlemen, will be talking to us today about what is the purpose of being here at the BRICS Challenge, and what are they hoping to gain, and what is it that they're trying to impart to people who come to the conference. So I've got Francois and Renier. Did I get that right?
You got it right.
Welcome to Africa Business Radio.
Hi, thank you very much.
Are you good?
Yes, we're fantastic.
So how has your experience been so far since this morning?
We started, usually there were technical problems we had to sort out, but after that we got our competitors running, and we're quite impressed. Currently the South African team is leading, but
wow.
So we don't know it will be like that in the end, but we're quite happy at the moment.
Okay, before we get into that, can you just explain why are you here? What is the summit about? How does it tie into the CSIR mandate? And how do you fit into this whole challenge?
Okay, that's quite a complex and long question. Basically, the CSR mandate is basically to help South Africa with technology and industry, and that includes human capital development. And this we feel a part of that process. We want to upskill the youth of South Africa, and our specific skill area is information security. And we actually found that having a challenge, having a competition, is actually always the young people. Well, I was the same at that age. If you have a challenge or a competition, you compete against other people, you're more enthusiastic and you put more effort in it. And we can see it here with the young guys really going for it and enjoying the challenges and basically learning a lot about information security in the process.
Okay, can you just tell us, Francois, what is the mandate of the CSIR when it comes to cybersecurity?
The mandate of the CSR is basically we are there to better the people of South Africa in general. So the CSR is there to support the people and to grow the population to be more cybersecurity aware. Awareness is one of the main factors in cybersecurity, and every day as people get introduced into more technology and technology becomes more part of our lives, awareness in cybersecurity is the major thing we need to educate the people about.
So let's just, for our listeners, right? CSIR stands for Council for Scientific and Industrial Research. It's a government body that basically helps government in different faculties, right?
Not only government, private industry also.
Okay.
So basically for South Africa, where there's a gap, we try to bridge the gap between basically fundamental research done at universities and maybe the industry where they already have existing processes and so forth. So that gap the CSIR tried to bridge. The group that I actually work for, called Sunrain, goal is actually to do network bandwidth for all the universities and science councils. And big science projects like the SKA that when we use massive amount of data, which is not necessarily set up for the industry, is basically a gap that the CSIR fulfills.
Okay, all right. So in the bigger scheme of things, everybody's talking about information security, everybody's talking about cybersecurity, and everybody claims to know exactly what this is, right? So before we actually get into what's the purpose of the challenge today, can you just break it down? What is information security all about? What is cybersecurity for our listeners out there who actually have no clue what this thing is, and they just know security, so right, it's protection of information. But what is it at the core of information security and cybersecurity?
There's a classical term called CIA. It doesn't refer to the Americans, but it refers to C for confidentiality, I for integrity, and A for availability. And any information can be attacked through those three axes. So if it's confidential and somebody steals the data, like in your personal information about your house, how much do you owe, where you live, or something like that. That can be confidential and somebody steals it. Integrity is what is the value, what's the real value. So if somebody actually changes your salary slip to more or less, that's the integrity of the data or information. And finally, we have availability. That's actually, can you get the data? Can you get the information? If the radio is hacked, then nobody can hear what they say and so forth. So those are the three main axes of information security, and it builds from that to protect those three values of information.
Now, we are at the BRICS Skills Challenge, right? Now, we know that cybersecurity and information security skills, right now are non-existent, if you talk about it from an African perspective, right? So what is it that we need to do to actually build skills in this sector?
So for now, we need to teach awareness to people. So where we do, from where the CS also comes in, is on the awareness level, where we go out in the public, teach them about how to work on Facebook. Like Renew said, the CIAP is the confidentiality, integrity, and availability. When you post on Facebook, Facebook is something everyone can relate to. You want to make sure when you post something on, only the people you want to see the information must be able to see it. That's where confidentiality comes in. Integrity comes in where the information you posted, you want to make sure the information is correct that you posted, that whilst you're posting it to Facebook, it doesn't get manipulated by someone else. And availability is where you said that your friends actually want to see the information and you want to be able to actually post availability. But then on the other side of the fence, we need to make sure that when you share stuff on social media, on Facebook, people need to be aware that it's very sensitive information that they are sharing. I mean, an example I always use to the public is when they come to the BRICS Summit here, a lot of people like to check into the BRICS Summit. So, and do a hashtag and post on Twitter, and hashtag I'm at the BRICS Summit, and so forth. That information can be used in criminal intent as well. I mean, when you've posted that on the internet, everyone out there has access to it. They know at that specific given time frame you are not at home. It gives a criminal prime opportunity to be able to break into your house and use that information against you.
I want to answer your question, maybe some other part of it. There's actually quite a lot of being done in information security in South Africa. Lots of the universities have departments of computer science or engineering or information where they actually present information security courses. There are private companies that have a lot of information security courses. We have actually one or two private companies that have people that are so skilled that are actually being used to do information security audits all around the world. So, no, the skills are there. Maybe not enough yet, but the base for the skill level has already been set out in South Africa.
Yeah, I mean, I was reading the World Economic Forum report, and they were talking about cybersecurity, that in the next 3 years, especially in Africa, we're going to need about 2 million, right, information security and cybersecurity skills. And Africa as a continent are more vulnerable right now because we don't necessarily have the right policies and things in place to actually protect our information. So we are left vulnerable. I mean, if you look at the member states, there are only 9 African states that have signed the cyber security legal framework, right? Everybody else, even South Africa right now, we don't have a cybersecurity bill. So how is that a concern generally in terms of how we do business? Because at the center of everything is information.
That's actually quite a difficult question to answer. I don't have the answer for it, but maybe even small steps can help. And this BRICS Skills Challenge, even if you add some awareness of it, and a lot of students doesn't even know the lot of opportunities and how many work opportunities there is in information security. So maybe that's also one way we can help the situation to explain to them. There is courses available, there is skills available, there are methods, there are bursaries available. This is actually a viable career path. I only later in my career discovered it as a career path and enjoying it all the way still.
So you guys can hack?
Of course we can hack.
Are you ethical hackers?
Of course we are ethical.
So you're white hats, right?
Yes.
You're the good guys.
We're the good guys.
That is the answer we always have to get.
But you can turn bad, right? Well, it's a choice. It's okay. It's a safe space. You can talk
Let
about
me
it.
answer that one. If you talk to a policeman, he is a good shot. He can kill people, but he doesn't want to. He wants to protect the country.
I get
so
it.
So you do it where your skill sets are.
So I think for me, the biggest thing with regards to the skills issue is the fact that you're right. There's no awareness, right? And when you talk about people globally, if you look at the web, right, the dark web, there's a lot of hackers from your developed countries. Not so much if you look at, the African continent. So how can we get more people to actually, because hacking is a cool thing right now. Well, people think it's a cool thing because people get to steal money and to do all these things, right? And I mean, I was reading an article. The guy who hacked Yahoo is now the head of cybersecurity, right, for Yahoo. And now Facebook has recently been hacked. And I mean, Francois, you were talking about Facebook just now. 90 million accounts were compromised just a couple of days ago for Facebook. So how do we do more than what we're doing now? Because I mean, we can do the awareness, but how do we become strategic to get users to actually do the right thing?
It's really difficult to get the users to do the right thing. I mean, in South Africa is one of the really nice countries in that we are really a nation who trusts one another. I mean, you put your money in the bank, you trust that the bank will keep your money safe. You trust that Facebook will keep your information safe. The same, we also had the LinkedIn incident where a lot of LinkedIn user accounts and passwords were compromised. And from that, there was actually malicious emails sent out doing ransomware attacks against the users of LinkedIn. And basically on that, if you were an educated, aware user, you wouldn't be using the same password across multiple systems. You would also be, after the LinkedIn incident, you would also have gone and changed your username and password. So where the ransomware attacks come in, they provide your username and your initial password that was compromised. So you would actually be aware that the information they're trying to request a ransom with is actually outdated information and it's not real authentic information. But since there's a very low level of awareness, people actually fall for this ransomware attacks and actually pay the money. So it's a whole cultural shift. People trust that organizations keep information safe. And I want to always urge people to only post limited information out there, because whenever you post something online, it's always there.
Okay. So
I want to talk about when you said hacking was cool. There's a very interesting case where in West Germany, when the internet was still very, very new, where the Russians paid some young guys to hack information, and they worked really hard on it, and they got some information in it, and 2 or 3 years later they were caught, and then they calculated the amount of money that they gave to the hackers were way less than if they had a real job, even if they worked for information security. So that's the one nice thing about information security and white hat hacking. It gives you all the exposure to the fun stuff, and you get paid for it. So that's actually.
So there's a lot of money. In the good sense.
There's a lot of money in the good sense.
Yes, not the other sense.
So without the risk of being arrested and losing it all, there's actually a fantastic career opportunities for white hat hackers.
So there's actually a very interesting trend, right, that's happening right now that I've been actually observing over the past couple of years. This is with regards to Israel. Right. Now, Israel are now claiming to be the top guns when it comes to cybersecurity skills. In fact, the U.S. have taken some of their people to go get trained in Israel, which is quite interesting, right? So what is your take on the fact that over the past 5 years, Israel has managed to build a solid competency with regards to cybersecurity?
Well, I think actually because of the size of Israel, it's about the size of the Kura Park, with 5 million people, which is less than Gauteng. Very strong economy. So they basically have the ability to actually train enough people and control that. Whereas we were not nearly in that situation. So it's probably just the government's decision to actually make it a strong thing with basically the position that Israel sits with the size of the economy versus the size of the country physically and the size of the population.
Okay.
I mean, one also has to be aware of there's a lot of different aspects of hacking. I mean, Israel might be strong in aspects A, B, and C, but there's also the other countries which are a lot strong in components D, E, and F. I mean, we need to investigate in what aspects Israel is strong in. Definitely learn from them. But in South Africa, we have also a wide array of skill set and stuff that we are specifically strong in.
Okay, happy. Now, just as a parting shot, right? For people who are interested in information security and cyber security, what skills do they need? What qualifications do they need to actually get into this space?
Basically, computer engineering, computer science, informatics, all those courses usually have a module of information security on them. And that's basically one of the easiest way to get into it.
Okay, and from a obviously, if you're in university, there are a lot of hackathons that are happening. I mean, you're doing this challenge right now, right? Can you explain your challenge right now in terms of what does it entail?
Okay, basically it's two parts. The first part is what we call a capture the flag. There's challenges, 30 unique challenges, all in the information security aspects, where they basically have to solve puzzles in the information security, where they have to crack a password, find some hidden message, find some bug in the software and so forth, and then when they get the flag, they capture it and they get points to it. So that happened the first 2 days. And then the last day we actually have an attack and defend challenge, where we give each team a old server, a computer server, that they have to secure, and then after a while they have to secure their own server while they have the ability to attack the other team's server and keep that up and running. So that is the then we have a second overall part called the social engineering. I think Francois can talk about that.
On the social engineering, and I just want to go back to what do you need to study to get into information security? I mean, I've studied a wide array of things, and the main important thing that I've studied was actually a psychology degree. I mean, I actually only focus on the human element of computer security. I mean, like I said, humans is behind every single IT system. These days it tends to be the weakest link in the IT system, because we can't easily just patch a human. Where network equipment, we can just deploy an update to it, make sure it's secure. Like I said initially, humans are trusting, so a lot of people tend to target the human element these days. So that's where social engineering comes in, and educating users to be more vigilant against these type of attacks.
Okay, that is also great. But from a social engineering part, in terms of your challenge at the BRICS Skills Summit?
In terms of the social engineering part, so every team has a set of username and passwords, and the teams are in physically the same environment. I mean, since teams are allowed to submit challenges and capture the flags and stuff, there's nothing stopping them from actually interacting with one another, manipulating other people's network data that's there by talking to them, defining what is the actual username and passwords that they use, and actually collaborate in a malicious fashion to actually get more points on the system.
Oh wow, that sounds so cool.
We have a similar competition to this, open for all universities, that's running in the end of the year. It's part of the High Performance Computing Congress, and there we actually had students that were successful in getting other students' usernames and passwords with social engineering. So it's a valid attack.
Oh wow! And when is this?
That's happening in the first week of December in Cape Town, Century City. And
where can people get the information to join? How do you register?
There's a website called csc.ac.za. This year it's actually already closed. We interact directly with all the universities that give information security and all the lecturers, but you can get some information there, and it will be run every year.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining me today. It's been absolutely amazing. I mean, this discussion, I'm actually going to go past and see how people are doing with regards to your challenges in terms of hacking. But it would be great to also see how people can actually we can extend this challenge outside of the BRICS Skills Challenge, because I feel like there's so much to learn and there's so much to do. But thank you so much for joining us right now on Africa Business Radio, and we will be seeing you as we walk around at the BRICS Skills Challenge. Remember, come to the Gallagher Estate. It is free, no pre-registration for the BRICS Skills Challenge. If you want to learn about cybersecurity, go to the CSIR stand and talk to Francois about anything that has to happen with the challenge and what you can learn, and talk to Rainier with regards to how you can actually become a hacker.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Africa Business Radio is now available on Google Play Store and Apple App Store. Take us everywhere. Download the app for easy access to our informative content. Africa Business Radio, towards a profitable Africa.